All right, as promised for today's video, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different and doing a little tutorial here on how to take all 6 of the Armorizers and turn them into one big Infernac universe combined mode. Obviously, like the fun of these guys and being able to like fall into bits like this means that everyone can experiment around and try their own things. And, you know, if you see parts of my design you want to take for your own sort of patterns, I guess, for these guys, then feel free to do so. But I'm just going to show you the one that I kind of came up with. And yeah, it uses every single part of all 6 of them, including the core class guys, which is kind of fun to actually have been able to get them integrated, since I didn't really get like you know, Dracodon or Vertebrake like integrated into my fossilizer combined mode, and there were no core class guys for the Junkions. But yeah, it uses all 6 of them, which means it actually is the biggest one that I've kind of come up with so far. But we'll get right on into it. First off, we're just going to start with the main torso. The parts that you want for that are Nucleus's torso, the back section of Nucleus, Shard's torso, both of Shard's arms, both of Shard's little like blaster sections here, 2 of the swords, and I think that's it just for the torso here. So first off, we're going to start with Nucleus, who I'm having be like kind of the you know, the main sort of central figure in the combined mode here, since the Armorizers don't have any like extra heads hidden anywhere to be the combined mode torso. So I'm just having it be sort of like a powered up mode for Nucleus. So for him, basically just what you want to do is bend his knees like this and just have him sitting in this kind of crouched position for now. And that's pretty much it for him. Then for Shard, basically what we're going to want to do is just fold open these sections, fold the cockpit up as if you're going to helicopter mode, and again, as if you're going to helicopter mode, take the waist section, untab it like this, and then just bring it down like that, and just have it sit in that configuration here. And then we're going to take both of Shard's arms, and you want to rotate around the hand, rotate this shoulder chunk up like that, and then rotate it up so these spiky bits face up relative to this orientation here. And then you're going to take them and put them in their corresponding armholes just on the opposite side of these panels, just like that. And we'll do that on both sides here. And then what we're actually going to do, and this is like maybe the most kind of like illegal kind of connection here, is we're going to take Shard's arms and actually wrap them around Nucleus, and then the like sort of cutout bits at the bottom here are going to sit kind of sandwiched within the like waist spikes on Nucleus. And it's stronger than you'd kind of expect it to be. You do have to fiddle with it for a little while to like get it sitting cleanly, but it's not too difficult to kind of get that sitting nicely like that. And then what we're going to do is take the weapons that came with Shard and actually plug them into the hands of Shard here, just like that. And the reason that I flipped Shard's hands around was just because, like, if you have them flipped the other way, it kind of bumps into the knuckles here in a way that's not quite as clean. And then take one of the swords and plug it in here, and another one of the swords and plug it into this one. And then what we're actually going to do is use the wrist swivels to just cross these to kind of create a cool chest design with the 2 swords crossed like that. And then just kind of as a place to put it, you take the windshield section for Nucleus and just plug it onto the back here. And because it's attached to the rotors, this does wobble around. So what I tend to do is just take the tail fin of Shard and just kind of bring it up just to kind of like hold it in place there. But there we pretty much have the main torso section all completed. And then to do each of the legs, we're going to start off with his right leg. So we're going to do Calcitron. I mean, you could do it either way. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to take Calcitron's torso is one of the bits we want here. We also want, what else do we want? We want both of Calcitron's arms, the windshield piece for Calcitron, I believe, let's say one of the arms for Nucleus. I can't remember exactly which one. I'm pretty sure it's this one, but we might switch that later. Again, one of these pieces might be switched, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. It's easier to tell like as we go along. Both of these pieces for Calcitron, both of these pieces for Calcitron. What else? One of the leg panels for Shard, doesn't matter which one because I don't think they're the same mold, but they do kind of fit the same way. Oh, they are just the same mold, just mirrored, but it doesn't really matter. One of the swords, this leg, is this leg? No, what is that? Left leg for Shard, and then one of these 2 pieces, this one, the right piece for, oh, and then this one? Yeah, this one, the right piece for for Nucleus there. Okay, this is the legs are the most complicated part on these guys. Okay, so basically what you want to do is take the torso section here and convert it as if you're going back into alt mode, which can be kind of annoying to do without the arms there. And we're just going to flip it up like this, take the wheel sections, open these up, flip in the head, and then instead of locking these into their vehicle mode configuration, we're just going to kind of fold them up a little bit back like that. And then we're going to take both these panels, fold them into the main body just like that. Then we want to take the waist section and rotate it like this so that the like front section is facing to the inside of the leg. And then you want to take these, and one of these pieces will just rotate up like that, and you want it kind of an angle the other direction. You want kind of an angle this way, and then this one you want to just be facing that way. Again, we're going to have to adjust these later, so it doesn't have to be super perfect for now, but that's basically how you want that section. And then we're going to take both of Calcitron's arms here, and they do correspond to their original ones, but you like their original locations, but you're going to be using, instead of this peg, you're going to be using this peg, so it'll plug in like that, and we'll just do that on both sides there, and then kind of fold up the hands so the wrists kind of face inward. And then we're going to be taking, now this is the part that I'm going to screw up. All right, yeah, that's the one we want further up on the leg. So we're going to be taking this one, which I believe is the one on the right leg of Calcitron, and we're going to be plugging this into both of the hands to just create a kind of a heel section here that you know connects these together. Then we're going to be taking this one of the little arm panel things, the one that has the points sticking inward, and just plug that into the front here to be the toes. We're going to take Shard's leg panel here and just plug it on like that. Then what we want to do, we want to flip this around. You want to take Shard's leg and plug it onto what will be the outside of the overall leg, just like that, and then fold up the foot, and then take Shard's sword and then plug it into the underside of the foot there, and just leave it like that for now. Then we'll take Nucleus's arm. This is where we find out if it's the right one or not. No, it's not. We want the other one. So we want Nucleus's, what is that, left arm. We're going to be plugging in the fist like this. Well, actually, you want to kind of do this first, but you want to fold up the shoulder chunk so it kind of sits like that. Basically, this is kind of the orientation that you want this in. Again, it'll have to kind of adjust afterwards. You basically just put the shoulder chunk inside here. It doesn't peg in. The only way it pegs in is using the hand onto the shoulder peg there for Calcitron, and then you take the windshield piece for Calcitron and then plug it in like this to Nucleus's arm, and then we have that section all done. Then on this bit up here, we're going to take the remaining rock piece for Calcitron and just plug it in like that, and then one of the two rock pieces for Nucleus and just plug it in like that. And then for these sections, well, actually, we'll do this first. We want to take this one and then plug it into where it would be on Nucleus, just on Calcitron instead. And we kind of want to just unfold the foot here and just leave it up like that for now. Again, we'll have to adjust that later in a little bit. Then you want to take this wheel section and plug it in here like this, and this wheel section and plug it in here like this. And there we have, well, I guess we also want to take the sword and just kind of fold it up like that just to make it a little bit more integrated into the leg. But there we have the right, his right, I left leg all done. And then basically we're going to do the exact same thing with Magneus here. So just to reiterate and go through all of that again, try to speed it up a little bit, but you want to unlock the torso section here and bring it up like that, flip in the robot mode head, close these wheels back up, close up these panels, fold this to the inside of the leg, fold this one up like this, and then rotate it a little bit this way, and then fold this one up and try to keep it kind of a bit more straight, although again, these will be adjusted later, so it doesn't have to be super perfect. Take this rock piece, plug it on like that, take this arm, plug it in here, and then rotate the hand around like that, and just do the same thing on the other side. This is the one we want up here. So this is the one we're going to use as the heel. And take Shard's leg, plug it in place like that, plug in the sword. Come on, there we go. Take Nucleus's arm, kind of fold it up like that and just plug it into the main body here. Take Magneus's, it's a cockpit, but I guess it's really more like a canopy or a windshield. The windshield section, plug it in like that and just fold the sword in. Then we take Shard's leg panel, plug it in like that. Take the remaining rock piece from Magneus, plug it in like that, and the remaining rock piece from Nucleous, plug it in like that. And then these ones, unfortunately, these are a little bit looser than they were on Calcitron, but you do the same thing and plug these in there like that, and then take Nucleus's, God, their names are also similar, but Nucleus's leg piece and plug it in just like that. And then we'll take and bring on the main body section, and basically what's going to happen here, I'll do it with this one first because it's a lot more secure, is you're going to be using these two pegs here to plug into these two sections here, which can be a little bit, you have to fiddle around with it a little bit. And then kind of, contend with the foot piece here. But you do want that to kind of like extend up a little bit once it's all said and done. So it can be a little bit annoying, but basically you just want to get that peg in there like that, and that peg in there like that. And then you want to take the foot piece and just kind of, again, it's easier to like just rip the piece off, so you kind of have to hold it in place. You want to fold it up like that and then just kind of like extend it out so it kind of sits behind this tab here. And that's one leg all done. And then this one's a little bit more tricky to do just because Magneus's like wheel pieces, or at least like the leg, tolerances are a lot more fiddly, which on the one hand makes it a little easier to actually get him apart, because Calcitron I do find is really annoying to get those panels off. But for the purpose of the combined mode, you definitely want this to be more of a stable connection. But once you get all four of these pegs in place, it's not too bad. And then the foot does, in theory, kind of help hold that in place as well. And then you can just adjust this so everything is kind of sitting as cleanly as it can be. Again, there's a lot of joints kind of working against each other here, so definitely takes a little bit of fiddling around with. I don't know how much of this you can even see. There we go. All right, get those legs in place. And that's pretty much the legs all done there. Obviously, we'll adjust the camera here so you can actually see what's going on. He's definitely got a lot of bulk in the legs, but that's okay. A lot of like super combined modes are kind of like that anyway, so it's not too out of place there. Then for the arms, basically what's going to happen is we'll start off with this arm here. We'll take the two leg chunks for Magneus, his weapon here, and then we'll take Geocron. It can really be either one of them. I just find that the way that the tab tolerances work out, it's a little bit easier to use Geocron on this arm. And then specifically the half of Nucleus's weapon that doesn't have the handle on it. So we'll just take this one and then put the rest of this off to the side for now. Basically what we're going to do is take these pieces, extend them out like this. You want to tab just the feet sections together, and then with the knees pointed down, you want to take the frontward facing one and just fold it up like that and leave this one kind of out to the side. Then take his weapon and peg it into these two bits to actually get that really secured in place, because otherwise it's not a super tight connection. And that's the whole like shoulder chunk. And then for Geocron here, basically what you want to do is just from the vehicle mode, just fold out the blade like that, and then flip them around like this, and then take the outward facing leg, untab it and bring it up like this. Then we want to take this section, and then this tab here will kind of loosely slot into this bit here, which works. It's not a super strong connection, especially on the other side, but it's one way to actually get these integrated that actually works out okay. And then you want to take this tab here on Geocron's foot, which thankfully does, I don't think on purpose, but it does correspond to the tab slot on the inside of the knee here on Magneus. And there you have one arm, which we can just peg straight onto the side of the torso there, and basically do the same thing with the other arm here. So just flip around Bouldercrash there, and then peg this piece on. This one is not as secure, but you do need to have this on this section, because if you have it flipped around the other way, just the way that the geometry of this works out, this kind of bumps into things and it can't tab in at all. So regardless of which one of these guys you have on which arm, just whichever one the tolerances work out better for, this one does need to be on his right arm. And then we'll take these sections, tab them together, and then bring that down, and then we just kind of want to untab this section and then bring that back up. Tab that on just like that, and then attach these guys together. Again, this bit always is gonna keep falling off. And then tab it onto the main body here, and there we have my Armorizer combine mode. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out, especially for a like a 6-figure combiner, and being able to use the core class guys too, which don't actually do the rest of the Armorizer gimmick. He's definitely a little bit unstable, as you'd kind of expect, and you know, your tolerances may vary in terms of like how you have these guys like, you know, just your particular copies of these guys. He does have a bit of articulation. Obviously, he does just have like the head swivel for Nucleous there. The shoulders here, they can rotate on the peg there. The reason that I have one of these attached and not the other, and you can have both of them attached if you want, it makes it like a little bit like of a stronger, you know, makes this joint a little bit stronger. But the reason that I don't have both of them attached is because when you have it like this, then you can actually use the ankle tilt on these guys respectively to give him a little bit of a butterfly joint going back. So it's just up to you of whether or not you prefer like the extra stability of having these both kind of locked in together, or the extra articulation, because it really works either way. It's just, you know, it's it makes it kind of want to fall off a little bit more when you do it this way. So yeah, to each their own. And then the obviously you can just use the knee joints here for these guys as elbow joints, which also, you know, because they're ball joints, he does have a bicep swivel as well. This one I find doesn't want to stay on quite as well as Magneus is. He does not have a waist joint just because of it's not worth it. The waist piece is kind of like lock into Shard's arms, so it doesn't really, I'm just gonna leave this piece off for now. Doesn't really get a whole lot of range there. The hips you can kind of bring forward on this joint here. It's kind of a weird setup, but he can do it. Again, you can kind of bring them out to the side. He does sort of have to have this like bow-leggedness to like stand up properly. Again, he does have knees notionally, but they kind of disconnect the leg and they look super weird. And then, you know, there's not a lot of like real strength to the individual joints there. It kind of works a lot better when he's got, you know, gravity on his side and it's all pushing downward, but there are notionally knee joints there. And then you can kind of adjust the feet a little bit, just depending on how you have these hand pieces, just to get everything flat-footed, but there's no real like ankle tilt or anything like that to speak of. But yeah, in terms of actually comparing him with a few other figures here to see how he stacks up with other relevant figures. First of all, just for a standard size comparison, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, just so you can see how he stacks up with an average size deluxe there. For an average leader class, or I guess not super average, a little bit above average leader class by today's standards, here he is with Studio Series Grimlock, just so you can see about the height that we're working with here. And then for some other combiners of, you know, the like different modulator Armorizer guys, here he is, dropping him over. Here he is with the Junkosaurus Rex that I did a video on last year using the three main Junkion combiners. And then here he is with both versions of my Fossilizer combiner, both the regular bone-colored version and the more saturated version, who lost some part on here that I can't totally tell just by looking at him. But yeah, that's what he looks like with them. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this this figure. It's been fun experimenting around with these guys. I suspect that there is still some secret to the Armorizers that we were not totally privy to, because there's a few unexplained things like why the swords have tabs and what these like armature sections on the back of these guys are really meant for. But it's been fun experimenting around with these guys, and I quite like the version of the combiner that I came up with. But yeah, like I said, feel free to use any of these concepts. They were based on, you know, some of these things were based on like a few other like combiner concepts that I saw online. But yeah, if you know, are interested in any of the individual things, like feel free to use those in your own creations. But yeah, again, just with like these videos, I never quite know how to end it, so I'll just go ahead and end it there. If you enjoy my videos in general, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I do reviews usually every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and occasionally a little bonus video. And yeah, without further ado, here we have the finished tutorial for my Armorizer Rocklord Infernac Universe Combiner.